hey, been driving, and I just pulled over to get something to drink because I was eating way too many potato chips. And I've been listening to podcasts that focus on Seth Godin and his new book he has out. And he's talking a lot about strategy versus tactics. And it made me think about what we are doing with the fourth quarter and our chats. And the strategy of what I'm doing and what we're talking about is multiple income streams to make us feel secure in our fourth quarter, to prepare us for our fourth quarter. There are great other things, being happy, making sure that we have good relationships with our family. But I think a huge part of this is the insecurity right now around our own incomes and our income streams. And there's even more insecurity the last few weeks. So the tactics for that, though, are what I'm doing with YouTube, this channel, and then my podcast, expanding my work there. And thinking about other tactics, for instance, my Airbnbs, long-term rental versus short-term rental, and the lines that you draw in there, and what is worth the effort, like the cost of putting a rental from a long-term to a short-term rental. It was a bit of a heavy lift for us. On top of everything, the microwave hood vent went out. The very first people that stayed there, we thought it was a breaker. We paid an electrician to put a new breaker in. The breaker was fine. It was the actual microwave, which has the hood vent above the stove. A couple $100 more, and we'd already sunk quite a bit into it. And it really brought up to us at what level do we want our Airbnb at? Because we could have went further. We could have done more. It's a lovely Airbnb. I've shown you some pictures, but we could have done more, and we will do some more just because it's great to upgrade your properties, right? Keep the value up. But at some point you have to call it and say, what is our tactic here? Our strategy is to increase our streams of income. But our tactic was to turn that rental, the long-term rental, into a short-term rental. And where do we, start reining ourselves in on that? The good news is it has booked out rather well. Not like 100% or even close, but it is certainly well worth our time so far, it looks like. It's hard. The market is saturated in Airbnbs. We've looked at diversifying. We've spoke here a little bit about working with construction crews, which I have, working with traveling nurses, which I have. Every step you take like that, though, is more work. The whole point for me, my strategy of increasing income streams, is to try not to take up my personal time. And here I've started a podcast. Now, if I didn't enjoy it so much, I wouldn't do it, right? I'm really enjoying putting this podcast together and this YouTube channel here. So, and for those that don't know, and I'll have the links below, my podcast is an extension of my business, which is consulting and coaching with nonprofits. My YouTube channel here, they're both YouTube channels, but one's a podcast. And this one is just my journey and working with and helping you in any way I can prepare for our fourth quarter, which mathematically is 61.5 in America, the U.S., because if you have an 82-year-old expected life expectancy, 61.5 is the marker of beginning that fourth quarter. So we're preparing for that. and I'm working on that. I know my strategy. My strategy is to prepare for that fourth quarter and to increase the income streams. So maybe there may be coming a point here where I say to myself, how do I make those income streams perhaps more effective? Not just increasing the number of streams, but winnowing out those that are not effective. We shall see. There are other opportunities. Please, comment below if you've got some great ideas on that. I have friends who have wonderful skills around baking and teaching and all of the wonderful things, and they've got great income streams in those. I have worked with nonprofits and fundraising. I have worked with real estate. Those are my two core skill areas, kind of, which can be taught, and also those two skill areas where I can keep those streams coming in. And so my coaching business, my consulting business, that's an income stream. My Airbnbs and regular rentals, we have a total of 6, of which 2 are Airbnbs. We are trying to maximize those and keeping that as part of our income streams. And then, of course, we have, we think we have anyway, some 401k, which is not as big as some people because I've been self-employed so much. And nonprofits aren't really known for giving really great retirement plans. And Social Security. My husband is already receiving his Social Security. We shall see whether I even receive Social Security, right? So as we move forward, please let me know how you're feeling. Are you really concerned? Are you afraid? Are you complacent? Are you fine with what you're doing and not needing to come up with more creative ideas and streams of income? I think at some point you have to decide how much you think you'll need, right? It depends on what we want to do. If we want to live in a small rural town, it's a lot cheaper than living in a university town. But my husband and I really want to live in a university town, and we just enjoy that lifestyle. We enjoy all the fun things that the young people do. We enjoy that there's a hospital nearby. So we have that idea, but it's a lot more expensive to live in a university town. So we know what our budget would be. We also know we want to travel. We have considered, some people, sell a lot of what they own, don't really have a regular home. Maybe they have a tiny home or an RV, and then just travel the world. We do have children and grandchildren of which we know we want to be a part of their lives. So we have to balance that. So I don't think we'll be living in a tiny home or an RV, but we do the rentals. So we could rent out our home or do a home trade when we travel. These are all options. But I really love what Seth Godin, and go ahead and look him up, and he's doing the podcast circuit right now. I really am enjoying what he's saying about strategy versus tactics. And that really helps you define what is your strategy, then what are your tactics. So I challenge you, what is your strategy for your fourth quarter? And then what are your tactics to ensure that you're meeting that strategy? So have a great day.